Dear students, good evening. Welcome to Law Excellence IAS. Let us have editorial analysis for today, that is 28th October 2022. The first article, should government sell liquor and run lotteries? In this, let us analyze it this way. What is the role of the state and what kind of functions the government has to do? So, the government has to serve the public good. It means it has to build the schools, hospitals which are necessary. Second is, government has to redistribute if necessary. It means that common standards of living has to be maintained for everyone. In that case, if necessary, the taxes have to be imposed, the wealth has to be redistributed. Third, certain goods which are essential but not available. So, providing for these essential goods, ensuring that they are available for everyone is also the responsibility of the government. The fourth is certain common goods which are essential for productivity of the economy. Let us put roads, infrastructure. These are the critical factors that are essential for economic productivity. Those areas where the government may get involved. Added to that, environment protection. In the urge for personal wealth, market in its greed for profit, it may neglect the environment. The state, in its interest for public good, has to ensure the environmental protection. On the other side, why the state shall not involve with profit-making businesses? Why profit-making is wrong for the state in one way? Let us say the government is involved in running a business. So, government on one side, it is a regulator. The government on the other side, it is also a stakeholder. Obviously, this is going to lead to conflict of interest. So, that's why government involving in business is not good for economy. Majorly, its regulatory functions comes in conflict with profit-making motive. And the second thing, government is not good in business. You can see the failing public sector undertakings. The decision making is very slow. The political and governance inhibitions of the government over there, political calculations and interferences. So that's why government is not good in business. So these are the things why we say government may need not go into business at all. So in this case, government shall involve in selling liquor and running lotteries. This is the question which is asked. Obviously, selling liquor, it is not in public good because it is detrimental to the health. When we apply these principles, it is not redistributive. Why? The worst affected because of the liquor are the poor people. The taxes on liquor affects the poor people. And the next is that an essential good? No. And then, is it essential for productivity of economy? No. In these circumstances, the selling liquor by the government is not good. And also, government has to regulate the liquor business. And second, government is making most of its money revenue today through liquor among the states. Remember, the liquor is a sin good. Governments making their money out of the sin goods reflects poorly on the government and its welfare activities itself. And finally, I want to tell you one thing. The state governments today are becoming excessively dependent on liquor because of the centers, lack of centers hand-holding to the states. After GST has come, the revenues of the states, discretionary revenues have come down. So that's where they are more and more became dependent on the liquor today. So this has to be corrected. So these points we have to remember. Another thing is spurious liquor. The people who support the government selling the liquor says that it will make the spurious liquor to come down. So these are the points that need to be understood. Next is going green. So this is the case study of Tamil Nadu. If governments have to work committedly on environment, how it has to be, then Tamil Nadu stands as an example. Tamil Nadu has set goals that are achievable, also has created strong governance structure for this. Let me explain this way. Today, Tamil Nadu has enlarged the list of Ramsar sites. What are Ramsar sites? Wetlands. 100 villages are being given green parks today. Elephant Reserve is coming at Agastha Malai. And then Dugang Conservation Park at Park Bay. And then Wildlife Sanctuary for slender lorries at Dindigul and Karur. Dindigul means this is the place where you have this Kodaikanal and that particular area. I think somewhere around 40 kilometers from Kodaikanal you have this. And at Tirupur, we have bird sanctuary. It means protection of wildlife, natural environment is given very much a priority. And added to that, to mitigate the climate change, a governing council is being created. This governing council is headed by none other than the former Planning Commission Deputy Chairman Montek Singh Ahluwalia, and then it has to oversee the implementation of climate change mission. And to run all these funds are necessary. Separate funds are being earmarked. Green Climate Fund corpus, and to implement that Green Climate Company is also implemented. But there is one underlying economic importance to this. So from now to the next 10 years, if you observe, every balance sheet of a company consists of something called carbon account. It means in the production or in making profits, how much of carbon they have been released and how much they have conserved. So there will be carbon accounting in our balance sheets in the future. The governments which are taking proactive steps are expected to benefit from this, and carbon credits are expected to be capitalized in the future. The world but relevant script of Cuban Missile Crisis. So what is this Cuban Missile Crisis? How vulnerable the world is was exposed by the Cuban Missile Crisis. It is on October 16th, 1962, United States of America spy satellites found out the silos that are holding the Russian missiles. These missiles were stationed in Cuba. At the time, Nikita Khrushchev, he was the president there. And added to that, from the United States, the famous John F. Kennedy was the president. So, both the countries were at the verge of a nuclear war. US has imposed naval blockade, not knowing that a submarine of USSR entered those waters. And the submarine was about to fire a nuclear missile. So, without the presidents knowing, they were at the brink of a nuclear war. Remember that. So many a times wars happen by accidents rather than by intentions. Today, if you observe Russia-Ukraine war, Russia sees it as a war against NATO rather than against Ukraine. And today's stalemate is in such a situation that Russia is too big to lose, Ukraine is too weak to win. In spite of that, war is continuing. So, the nuclear threats are on rise. And Russia is signaling nuclear missiles or nuclear launch from time to time. It is talk there today. There is a talk about dirty bomb. So this all clearly says that the nuclear deterrence is taking a back seat. So we have to learn from the 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis. The back channels have to be opened between Russia and Ukraine, and it is the time to put an end to this particular war. The dismal case of slashing schemes and cutting funds. Centrally sponsored schemes. What was the criticism which we were seeing before? Too many and too overlapping, continuing beyond their relevance. So these are the criticisms we made regarding centrally sponsored schemes. So that's why right sizing of the schemes is necessary. This is the point we normally discuss when we discuss about centrally sponsored schemes. So this right sizing, does it mean only downsizing is the question. So certain schemes have relevance, these have to be increased in size, and certain schemes have to be downsized. But government is going with the intention of only downsizing. Today if you take agriculture, only 3 schemes are there. Dairy, only 2 schemes are there. So that's why right sizing not mean only downsizing. Right sizing also involves increased fund allocation for certain schemes like MG Narega. Today, if you observe MG Narega, as unemployment is high, MG Narega could have been a savior. But the funds are not released on time, budget allocations are decreasing. The second thing is, fertilizer subsidy is going down year on year, and fertilizer prices are also increasing. Obviously, the net income to the farmers is decreasing. So in this case, what we need to do? We have to ensure right sizing rather than just downsizing. The programs like MG Narega shall be made funds available on time. And added to that, frontline workers like Asha, they need to be given financial incentives so that the healthcare system can improve to the next level. Next is, what is Turkey's latest disinformation law? Sorry, I missed this article. Limits of pleasure. So in Kerala, governor is playing certain controversies. I can simply say that he is weighing himself too much. The governor's office is a constitutional office. Its role is to uphold the constitution and advise the government of the day to be in line with the constitution. Right? That is the simplest role the governor is been prescribed for. But Mr. Arif Muhammad Khan, what he said is, the finance minister of Kerala, Mr. Balagopal, lost his pleasure. So here we need to understand doctrine of pleasure vis-a-vis the governor. The doctrine of pleasure of the governor is not absolute. It is subjected to the opinion of the chief minister. So on the recommendation of the chief minister, he can remove any minister. And second, the governor is also the chancellor of the universities in the state. This role as chancellor and the role as doctrine of pleasure as a constitutional role, these shall not be confused in its functioning. Next is, what is Turkey's latest disinformation law? Why I am talking about this? You can quote this as an example in your answer for +1 advantage. Today, media restrictions are increasing everywhere. In this case, Turkey's disinformation law is an example. Like sedition law in India, the disinformation law went ahead. Any kind of speech or any kind of comment made on the social media that affects the security of the nation, internal, external security, public order, general well-being of the people, this can be punished up to 3 years. It simply says that if you are talking against the government, there is a good chance you can be punished. So, freedom of speech and expression, how it is getting curtailed in India, across the world, how the law is becoming an instrument for this. In this case, you can quote the Turkey disinformation law as an example. These are the articles for today. Thank you very much.